Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines here. 115 million XRP. Ripple onboards major creators. We'll get into that. And Israel's central bank and the acting OCC comptroller here in the United States. The CFTC, ladies and gentlemen, is coming for crypto. It is official. Watch out, Gary Gensler. You're going to want every bit of that. Augustin Carson's and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen. No spaces. Give us a follow on Twitter. Right here, $1.802 trillion market cap for crypto. It's April 28, 2022. Good afternoon. We're up 0.58% on the crypto market. Bitcoin, 39,300 plus. Ethereum, 2,800 plus. XRP at the number 7 spot now, up from the 8 spot. And we are off by 15.84% on the 7-day. We're ranging between 64 cents on the bottom and 77 on the top. We're currently at 67 cents right now. Take a look at this. I just diversified and bought more commoditized art, blue chip investment art. I love this stuff. I love working with these guys. Check it out for yourself. It is so affordable. It's amazing. $20 a swing. And I'm in this thing. And this is my second time I've invested in this particular painting right here. Christopher Wool, which his similar works are running a 30% return. Come on in. Look at some of these other ones from these different artists here. 16, 21, 11, 13, 13, 12, 17, 22, 20. It goes on and on and on. And I just bought into this one too. Jean-Michel Basquiat, who I love his work. I tell you, these returns are outperforming the S&P. Is it guaranteed it will do it for you? No. But I'll tell you this. I love being invested in fine art. I love doing the things that the richest people in the world have been doing for decades, and I haven't been able to do it all until now. And that's what I'm doing. Link underneath the video. Check it out. Very exciting. $20 a swing. 115.3 million XRP transferred by Ripple and large exchanges, ladies and gentlemen. Brad Garlinghouse just told us on Bloomberg television interview, U.S. retail is shut out. The growth that we are seeing is happening from the 95% customer base they have that is outside the United States. When I see this amount of XRP being moved, this is not retail doing this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I know it's my speculation, but I do not believe that. What I see here is on-demand liquidity, and that goes in line with the 8x year-over-year number that Brad Garlinghouse told us about in that same interview. That is pretty exciting to me because that's real application of a digital asset. Right here, Ripple continues to onboard major NFT creators to the XRP Ledger, and that's based off of the new XLS-20 token for developing NFTs off of the Ledger. I think this also speaks to what we've heard Brad say in the recent months. I think it was back in December at a conference. He talked about the idea that we're not just in comparison to Amazon when they were doing just books, like Ripple is to cross-border payments, Amazon is to books. This is really like one of those moments where I say, you know, this is where you start crossing out of that analogy and you start getting into when Amazon started to do everything else. And I think this is just a fine example of that because there is so many applications of NFTs across so many different areas of business and industry. Looking right here, Blockchain Association, BIS Singapore signs an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding for partnership with BNY Mellon. The duo has masterminded the Unity to offer their expert consultancy services jointly to institutional investors on blockchain technology and virtual assets. Now, this is all in line, obviously, with the understanding that the BNY is looking to start a investor fund off distributed ledger technology as well. So all of this goes together right here. This whole thing is one giant money maker, and the U.S. at some point has to say, what are we doing? Now let's take a look at this one. Changing gears just a little bit right here, Stephen Hubert shows us, you won't believe what I just found. JP Morgan, Alibaba, Swift partnered in 2017 to revolutionize cross-border payments with Ethereum. And which law firm represented both of them? Simpson Thacher. Take a look at this right here. And I'll go through this very quickly, but we thank JP Morgan for the collaborations making this happen seamlessly. You see right here, Alibaba, by strong collaboration between Alibaba, JP Morgan, and Swift. There you have it right there. Then you're looking right here, Simpson Thacher raked in on $16 million on Alibaba's IPO. Simpson Thacher and JP Morgan Chase agreed to pay $200 million. It shows them together there, $125 million SEC settlement. You know, this is all to point out that it looks like the real impetus behind how Ripple got attacked, possibly, right? Because we know that William Hinman put together that Alibaba IPO with Jay Clayton to try to get that through and to have them acquire MoneyGram. And when they were turned down getting MoneyGram, who came in right behind it? Ripple. That is a key moment, because that really could show and reveal that there is this real motive behind all of what was happening from the SEC there. We'll keep an eye on it. Great work by Stephen Hubert, by the way. And here Bill says it too. That would explain the motive for Simpson Thacher to use Bill Hinman to obtain a free pass and why it happened so fast. And that's exactly what I'm saying as well. There is more to come on this, ladies and gentlemen. And there's more to come on this. Israel's central bank replaces U.S. dollar reserves with Chinese currency. Uh-oh. This is the kind of events and actions that take place that you start seeing. If we're reading all of these things right, globally, economically speaking here, these are the kind of events that can become cascading, right? So we're going to want to put this one in a file that stays out on the desk. Right here, acting OCC comptroller calls for standards on stablecoins. I want to get into this for a second. Understanding that Michael Hugh is the acting OCC. They have not filled that seat yet, and Michael S. Barr was originally sought for that and then shot that nomination down. And now currently former Ripple advisor Michael S. Barr is awaiting confirmation into the vice supervisor chair at the Federal Reserve. Looking right here, we see Michael S. Hugh, the acting head of the United States Office of Comptroller of Currency, said stablecoin needs standards comparable to the early internet. In a written statement following his appearance at the Artificial Intelligence and Economy event in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday, Hugh said stablecoins lacked shared standards, were interoperable, and needed standards similar to those set by the Internet Engineering Task Force and World Wide Web Consortium, which is the W3C, which, if you're not really familiar with, the Interledger protocol created by Stephen Thomas and the team at Ripple gifted that protocol to the same exact consortium that Michael Hugh is calling on as well. Pretty interesting. Systemically important, I say. Excuse me. This here is Patrick McHenry. He just may be the guy who can lead Congress and digital assets to a place where the U.S. can become a leader in this fourth industrial revolution. Listen to what he says here about the CFTC and the SEC and what really needs to happen.
So what we have to do is define what is a digital asset. And what I believe is a digital asset is neither fish nor fowl. It is neither a commodity nor a security. Bitcoin is the best embodiment of that. I think you have to have a separate regulatory sphere for digital assets that is neither the SEC nor the CFTC. And it's Congress's role that we have to define a digital asset, because there is no federal definition now, number one. And number two, we have to give it a regulator or a home. And that is Congress's job and role here. And I fundamentally think that the Securities Exchange Commission and the CFTC lack that capacity to well regulate this new innovation. So,
and there you have it right there. And he may be right. I was hoping they could get this done without creating a new agency, but maybe that is the way this has to go. But nevertheless, I do like Patrick McHenry and his approach so far for crypto. We will keep an eye on it. He could become a real leader. Watch out for him to become the head of the finance committee too. So taking a look right here, Chris Van Hollen was talking with people in Congress here in the Senate Banking Committee and basically talking about the overcharges and revenue generated by banks through fees and overdrafts and how it is a burden to Americans living paycheck to paycheck. Totally get it, Chris Van Hollen. And I tell you that Ripple XRP can play a vital role in reducing these costs and payments for the unbanked and underbanked citizens. In fact, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, who you were speaking to in this conference, has already cited Ripple and XRP as a solution for exactly what you point out. They can provide you with the lower fees, the security, the scalability. It's already been documented that Ripple and XRP's virtual currency can affect settlement in a positive and transparent way for banks and credit unions. So that is where we are on that as well. Now, I want to go to this because this really just came in not long ago, and this is big, ladies and gentlemen. This is the CFTC coming for crypto. They just walked out on the field and said, Gary, you're not the only one here. Check it out. All right, so we start right here. Shout out to James K. Filan here. He shares with us via Ron Howard, House Agriculture Committee Ranking Member G.T. Thompson is linking up with a member of Congressional Progressive Caucus on a bill that would give the CFTC direct oversight over a huge swath of the crypto spot market. Oh yeah, this is getting good, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. This comes in and it says, Representative Ro Khanna signed on to sponsor pending legislation that would clear a path for the CFTC to take jurisdiction over large parts of the crypto market space, treating digital exchanges similarly to designated contract markets and swap execution facilities. The bill expected to get introduced later today with Representative Darren Soto, and it says here who, like Kahana, is a member of the Congressional Blockchain Caucus attached as a co-sponsor. Thompson and Kahana's legislation marks. It says the latest entrant is in a series of crypto bills that have been floated as lawmakers and federal agencies hustle to create guardrails around the fast-growing industry. The bill is originating in the House Agriculture Committee that has oversight over the CFTC. You know what that means? That means this bill has got teeth on it, ladies and gentlemen. So keep a close eye on what's going on with this. Adds more fuel to an industry-wide push to give the financial derivatives regulator more sway over an industry that's been highly critical of the approach taken by SEC Chair Gary Gensler, who repeatedly contended that most digital assets could be characterized as securities. Now, what's interesting here is, and he may have even said it further in the thread here, is that we better watch out because who's Gary Gensler's buddy in Congress? It's Elizabeth Warren. And I bet you she's going to get real loud about crypto or that executive order and pushing the U.S. Treasury to draft regulations before the CFTC can get control. It'll be fun to watch this one. But I do want to leave you on these two things here. Augustine Carstens from the BIS. I think Linda P. Jones says it well here. The new financial system will reach more people worldwide and help the unbanked have access to funds in a way our current central banking structure cannot. And if you take a look at this right here, remember when I played this clip, and shout out to DAI for this one. Excuse me. I think I swallowed water wrong here. But nevertheless, this is a great clip of Joe Indoso from Link2, who has been in the banking world and finance his whole career, essentially. And he is telling you this is not... XRP just doesn't have clarity in the different regions of the world. They have clarity from one of the largest central banks in the world too, at least tacitly. Listen.
Is that Ripple's, RippleNet product and ODL saw a massive adoption surge, all of it overseas last year. And think about that. These are financial institutions, many of them are regulated banks that are using XRP as part of a international payments processing system, right? What are the implications? A, they're regulated by their nation's central bank and their financial regulator. Clearly, those sovereign regulators don't have an issue, right? But the larger thing is that those banks, because they're transacting in the international payment space, are also signatories to and regulated by the charter of the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS. The BIS has one really important function, and that is in order to safeguard the integrity of the total global, financial and payment system, it imposes capital requirements on banks, right, of all these different countries. Your capital requirement calculation is very driven by the composition of your portfolio, right, and whether you have securities and not, right? If the Bank of International Settlements felt that these banks had securities exposure, that would have a significant impact. My guess is they're not treating them as securities and imposing all sorts of additional capital requirements on these banks. Otherwise, they wouldn't be wanting to use ODL, or it'd be a lot harder for them. And that hasn't been the case, right? So now, not only do we have sovereign regulators, we have the BIS itself that's, tacitly saying it's not a security. You can use it for your ODL and your Ripple net. And here we are stuck in the Stone Ages in the United States.
And absolutely right. There's no doubt about it. And I don't think anybody says it better than Joe Endoso right there. And this is a short clip of the BIS, Augustin Carson's, talking about the new digital financial system.
In many emerging markets, CBDC is looked as a very important avenue to deepen financial inclusion, to bring on board into the digital financial system vast parts of society that today do not benefit themselves from the digital world.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The new digital world, the new digital financial system. BIS has really tacitly, at least, given the approval of Ripple and XRP. It's not just about these sovereign regions anymore. That implication is really pointing to the largest component or keystone in the global financial system. That's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below. I'll catch all of you on the next one.